Hi everyone, my name is Sky, and this video is a bit somber and it's a bit of a rant. Well, I'm not going to be very loud about it because I'm just feeling kind of tired. I'm feeling kind of frustrated and I'm feeling kind of stressed because I think that, at least online, there seems to be rules on how a person can be goth. There seems to be just regulations about if you're goth enough. And I think it's crap. Why should anyone have to be able to list like dozens of goth bands? Why should they have to list dozens of goth albums and the years that they came out and all that stuff? Why should they have to have a certain amount of kitschy goth things in their home decor? Why should they have to be dressing in a specific way in order to be goth? I thought goth was about self-expression and just being an individual and just going against the mainstream culture. I didn't think that goth would turn into this thing where you have to do this, that, and the third in order to really be goth. And if you don't know these bands, if you don't dress this way, if you don't like the music that much in the first place, then you're not goth. You can't be goth without the music. You can't be goth without the fashion. I'm sick of all these rules. And while I do like some of the music, I'm only going to be involved in liking the music that I want to like, that I want to listen to. I'm only going to have the kitschy things in my home decor that I want to have. And I think this should apply to everybody. This may come across as controversial, but as a black person, I know that we, as black people, invented rock and roll. And if it wasn't for us, there would be no punk rock. If there wasn't for us, there wouldn't be goth. If it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be heavy metal. And I feel like just being myself in a country that is so against black people is being punk rock enough. Living in a society where people with brown skin are treated like dirt, I think that's being punk rock enough. It's being heavy metal enough. It's being goth enough just by existing. It may sound kind of weird, but I've suffered so much and gone through so many trials and tribulations in order to get where I am as a goth person and comfortable identifying as such. And I'm not going to let anybody stand in my way. And it's not just because I'm 42 years old. It's because I don't think anyone has the right to tell me if I'm goth enough or not. And the advice that I would give to y'all is that you don't have to like every band. You don't have to like all the clothes. You don't have to be able to list a bunch of bands in order to be goth. You don't have to have frickin' Monster High dolls. You don't have to have plaid skirts that you made yourself with safety pins. You don't have to have a coffin, a backpack that you wear every day made out of duct tape with chains. You don't have to wear odd, strange, and perhaps ridiculous tops like what I'm wearing, where there's rings here and straps that go all over the place. You know, you don't have to wear these kind of gloves. You don't have to do any of this shit in order to be a goth person. And I don't even I'm not even worried if I get, shit for this or not. Because I really feel that being goth is something that you just feel in yourself, in your mind. If it appeals to you in some way, then that is a subculture for you. And no one should pressure you to do any sort of things, to follow any sort of rules in order to be an actual goth. Just be you. The subculture is supposed to be about individuality. And I think in some places on the internet, folks have lost their way a little bit. Because I am really tired of seeing vlogs and blogs and videos about how to be goth. I don't mind if someone wants to make a video about goth bands that maybe someone wants to check out. I don't mind if people want to do videos about how to find goth clothes. I don't care, or I'm not bothered by the fact that Voltaire has a show called Gothic Homemaking. But what bothers me is the impression I get from people online that these things are not optional. That I have to know these bands, that I have to dress this way, that I have to have little coffins on my nightstand and all that, or a mug made out of a skull or shaped like a skull. I just wish that we as a gothic subculture would go back to the frickin' drawing board and just be individuals in this subculture, because it seems ridiculous to me that there should be any kind of rules or regulations or whatever on how to be goth. If you want to learn about all the music, fine. If you want to learn about every goth band that's ever come out since 1980, great. If you want to dress goth, that's great. If you want to have Monster High dolls and coffin backpacks, great. If you want to learn about 18th century novels that have really had an impact on the subculture, fabulous. Read Bram Stoker's Dracula to your heart's content. Read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Go for it. But I think people need to know that they don't have to do all these things in order to be a true goth. All you have to do is be yourself. And if this subculture is something that you feel is you, then go for it. No one has the right to tell you how you can and can't be. Especially in a subculture that has been so focused on individuality and going against the mainstream. If we're going to all go against the mainstream, let's not start acting like a mainstream and start laying down rules. Let's just be ourselves and enjoy the subculture the way we want to.